Chapter 25. Mom opened the door a little, peering around it into the wet evening. Cass sat at the kitchen table, half expecting it to be the people who had written the letter. But instead she heard Deegan's low voice. "Hello, is Cass home?" Mom opened the door a little wider. "Yes, please, come in." She stood aside while Deegan stepped into the kitchen. He was sopping wet, water dripping down him onto the floor. He noticed and stepped backward apologetically. In so doing, he banged into another person behind him. "No, don't worry about the floor," Mom said. "I'll get you a towel." So Deegan stepped forward again, and the person behind him did too. It was Ellis, looking like a drowned weasel. "What are you doing here?" Cass said tightly. Deegan held his hand up. "No, wait. He sneaked out and followed me home, and we've been talking. My aunt said we could come over here. He has something to tell you, and you should listen." "Why should I?" She felt as though she was done with bullies, could not tolerate another one. And here he was in her own kitchen, in the kitchen of her grandmother who had suffered bullies too. She did not feel like forgiving just now. Deegan poked Ellis. "Go ahead." Ellis cleared his throat. "I bought the mask to give it to you. I was trying to figure out a way to do it." His face flushed bright pink than usual. "Why?" Cass said flatly. Ellis shook his head to get the wet hair out of his eyes, and water sprayed everywhere. "Because you hate me. You called me a bully. I wanted to show you I wasn't." Cass was opening her mouth to let Ellis know exactly the many ways he was a bully, but Deegan raised his hand to hush her. "Go on and tell her the rest, the way you told me." Ellis said quietly, "I had it in my desk all day today, but I couldn't get up the nerve to give it to you. I never meant to keep it for myself." Cass roared. "You had it in your desk?" He couldn't meet her eye. He started playing with one of the toggles on his rain jacket, knotting it into figures of 8. "I took it home after school. I was going to try again tomorrow to give it to you. But then you came over and Dad barged in, and it was bad." He paused. "As you know." Then his voice came faster. "When I heard him talking to you, I heard it. What you were talking about, those horrible things he said. He is a racist and he's a bully." Bitterly, he yanked the string of the raincoat. "He only has respect for one kind of kid. Good at sports, a tough guy, interested in making money one day. Which I'm not. Not any of those things. And my mom wants me to be the best in the class so she can brag to her stupid friends about all my test results. And I never am best in the class, so I can't please her either." Now he was knotting the 2 bottom strings with the toggle on the raincoat pocket, twisting and crumpling the fabric. "I'm just like he says, only good at making stupid things, building stuff and not even useful stuff. Dumb little robots, animals, houses, planes. It's all I want to do, though. I just want to make things." He glanced over at Deegan. "And you're sketching all the time. I guess I thought we were kind of the same that way, but turns out I couldn't say it right." There was a silence as everyone digested this. "Dirty Indian," Deegan said helpfully. "Doesn't want to pay tax, going to scalp you. No, I'm not sure you said it exactly right." But there was no bitterness in his voice, as if deep down he had known this about Ellis all along. Ellis shrugged out of his backpack, placed it on the floor, and unzipped it. He looked up at Cass anxiously. "Anyway, here it is." Cass stepped forward, scarcely able to believe what she thought might be inside. With trembling hands, she reached into the backpack. Her fingers met with something soft and matted, masses of it, and there was a solid wood carved into rivulets, flowing around a face. She put loving hands around it and lifted gently while the Orenda surged in her, like a mighty singing river. Mom came in at that moment with a pile of towels. "You must both be freezing. Here, dry off. Get your coats off. I was going to make some grilled cheese for me and Cass. We haven't eaten yet. Why don't you stay and have some?" Mom sounded so confident suddenly. Nothing like the mom who's terrified to talk to people. She was different already, different from how she had been before reading the letter. Like time was starting to be measured anew after learning the truth about herself. It was like B, C, E, and CE, Octon and Orenda, the time before and after the letter. Cass thought back to the stories Mom used to make up for her about being royalty. In a way, the stories had come true. Cass and Mom were part of a line that went back 1,000 years. They were not drifting anymore, but had roots binding them to the earth. Mom started handing towels out. Then she saw the mask. She gave a little cry. What? Where did you? She couldn't touch it at first, just gazed at it. Finally, she ran a hand across it, fingertips lingering in the deep wrinkles of the lopsided face. She looked up at Cass wonderingly. Alice bought it for us, Cass said. That's why it wasn't in the pawn shop anymore. Alice shrugged at her, then he muttered embarrassedly, Just $30. You bought this mask? Mom stared at Alice. He shrugged again, looking like he didn't know what else to do. You are such a good kid, Mom said, and embraced him. Alice stood there awkwardly. He didn't look like he was very used to hugs. Not really, Alice said, his voice muffled by Mom's hug. I've been pretty bad, actually. Mom stood back and looked him in the eye. A bad kid, Mom said, would not have bought our mask back for us. You are the opposite of a bad kid. Alice blushed nearly crimson. Maybe he's going to be anyway, Cass said. Then Mom rushed around the kitchen, turning on the oven, putting cheese on bread, heating up milk for hot chocolate. Cass, Deegan, and Alice sat at the table, their faces lit by the candles. The light tied them all together, the boys and Cass and Mom, like they were all parts of the same living thing. And in the center of the table, its curving smile glimmering in the candlelight, lay the mask. Generations of voices sang that it was home at last.